I was just editing the video I was making on terrible bits of advice for binge eating, and then it suddenly crossed my mind of this is really important. What makes a lot of dietary advice really bad and invalidating to hear is that what to eat and what to do almost matters less than helping someone to understand how to do it. And that's the part which is fundamentally missed, and it's a massive thing to miss off when someone's struggling with their relationship with food or they're binge eating and they want to gain a healthy relationship with food. Even if we could turn a healthy relationship with food into a long list of very black and white rules, it's very clear to understand what to do, which you can't, by the way, because it's flexible and it sort of oscillates around guidelines rather than being rules. But anyway, even if we could do that and turn it into a long list of rules, how does someone actually move from being on the hunger fullness diet, let's say, which is eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full? What needs to fundamentally change within that person for them naturally, most of the time, wanting to eat when they're hungry and stopping when they're satiated? Because those are two very different things. When I was doing my psychology training for eating disorders, I failed my first paper. I had to redo it, basically. And I was shocked by that because I was always a good student. And when it came back and I saw all of this red and, this has got to change, this has got to change, I was really taken aback. But then what I quickly realized, thanks to some guidance from the mentor that I had, is that all of my training up until that point and qualifications had been extremely science-based in terms of this is not science-based. All of my qualifications and training up until that point had been very much focused on the what to do. So I had 3 years of nutritional training to gain my qualification, and that was 98% of it was focused on what does the client need to do in order to become healthier in regards to their diet and lifestyle? What do they need to do? What do they need to do? And then you write it in a plan and you give it to them. And when I started doing the psychology and eating disorders, I wrote my paper in that regard. It was like this, very simple. This is what the client needs to do in this case study. Bullet point it out, right? And they came back and essentially said, this is all well and good, but what are you going to do with this client to help them to become able to do the things that you've put down here? To reduce it down into one tiny example, if someone wasn't eating any vegetables, let's say, and they wanted to eat a more healthful diet, I could write down, eat more vegetables, eat 8 small handfuls of vegetables a day. I could say that, and it would be almost entirely useless, because what we'll often find is that most of the time someone knows relatively what they need to do or want to do, and there are very good reasons why they are not currently doing them. And with clients that are going through my program, I call this the resistance. So, okay, here's what you want to do. These are the actions which are going to get you to where you want to be. That's the actions. Now, more importantly, now you know the actions, we've put them down. What resistance do you have for doing these actions? For instance, if a client says, I want to feel less hungry, I feel like my appetite's off the charts, and in this particular example, what we're doing is saying, okay, well then in that case, one of the actions that's going to be helpful is to eat regularly. And then I will look at them and I will say, and what resistance do you have for doing that? And they'll say, the resistance I have for doing that is I'm really terrified of gaining weight and I feel like I'll gain weight. And it's like, okay, so that's a discussion that we need to have. That's the area that needs support and work on it. Is that right? And they'll go, yes. And then I will ask, and what resistance do you have to working on your fear of weight gain? And so it can go on. And that's how people actually create change, not by trying to enforce willpower to stick to a whole bunch of things on a to-do list, which they already know that they want to be doing. Hey, lovely. If you've been watching some of my videos and you're interested or you're curious about maybe working together on your relationship with food and you'd like to have a discussion about that, then you're very welcome to request a call. What you can do is you can head to the description, and if you follow that link through, you will be prompted to watch a 55-minute video that I've put together, which will take you through the very basics of the approach that we use. You can see if you resonate with it, and this not only helps you to assess if our approach might be
worth considering for you. But it also means that if we do have a call, then all of that time can be focused on you rather than covering what I like to refer to as the basics, which I go through with everyone initially. And if it looks like it might be a good fit for working together, then we can have that call to discuss everything further. Take care and maybe speak to you soon.